yours first, I'll do mine second.
Right. I believe we're now live. So if anyone is listening as we come in, if you could let us know whether the audio is okay. Craig, would you like to sound test for us?
Sound test. Do I sound echoey?
Echoey. Well, no one said yes. So good. Welcome to another live episode of Tea Time. My name is Ross.
My name is Craig.
And hopefully you've already put the kettle on because it's tea time.
It very much is tea time. We look forward to a cup of tea, actually.
Oh, it's been a long day. I've earned it, I think. I've got look. I might take off soon. Look, what's going on there? Moving on. So we got a bit of news. I mean, actually, I thought it was a bit of a slow week, but we have to start off with where we finished up at the end of last week.
Yes. Let me share my screen.
SN15. So just hold it for 1 second. So SN15 last week, just to catch you up in case you haven't heard, SN15 is the Starship number 15, which was the latest test for their vertical takeoff and landing, going to near orbit but not quite. The last 4 have exploded, or as they say, landed everywhere. The last one we thought, well, it's not the last one, I think the last one just blew up, but straight away, but the one before that, we thought it had done it, and it landed, and it went, and then we thought, oh, well, that's not bad effort, and then about 7 minutes later or something, it just went. This time, I mean, I predicted it. I think did I state it last week? I think I did. If not, well, say so. I reckoned that last week was going to be the one, and it was. So yes, they took it off. They landed. So if you can, for those who haven't seen it, this is a little slow-mo of it landing. So Craig, take it away.
Here we go. Can you see?
I can now.
Play.
And there it is, right? Which just looks like the opposite of when it takes off. You can pause it. And it's a bit annoying that massive broken down R2-D2 sat in front of it, but just
yeah, bit of a shit.
Yeah, bad angle. But just the concept that we took a rocket, we took it into half meter space, it then flew back that way, fell gracefully, and then did a little maneuver just before it hit the ground. Like, you know, the idea of people falling in an elevator, they think they'll just jump before it hits the bottom. It basically did that. It fell to the floor, and just before they hit the bottom, it went. It's beautiful. Bellissimo. Anyway, so that was that. So I mean, any thoughts on that one, just on its own? I mean, it's happening. We're gonna do it, Craig.
Yes, I mean, yeah, watching history. It's a shame that we couldn't stream the entire thing last week, but I think we stopped streaming about 10 p.m.-ish in the UK, but I didn't actually do that until about 1 a.m. in the UK.
Yeah, I was like, it's gonna happen soon. Yeah, so
I mean, it was looking good on the actual bottom progress slider thing until all of a sudden it started going backwards. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This isn't going to happen for some time.
Road's closed. Oh, no, it's open again.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, the actual live feed wasn't particularly good because we couldn't see very much. It was another cloudy day, and you suddenly just saw it appear out of the clouds, which is why you've only so that feed is from Everyday Astronaut, and that's the only feed I think they've got, which is where you can see it, because all the other ones are just cloudy, which is annoying, but you still got to see it. So yeah, it's, I mean, that was the concept. The next, the not too distant future, in theory, is that we put people in it, and then if we can do that, and we can make it safe, then yeah, people could be using that method to travel to the other side of the planet in 2 hours. Because weirdly, if you go up and come back in, sometimes it's quicker. It does help that the planet's spinning. And also, we're expecting to use SN15 to go to the moon. And then, next up, Mars. So yeah, that's that news. In other news, I'm going to cover this because I'm painfully aware of it. The stock market. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, so I'm going to be brief on it. But basically, since the whole GameStop thing happened in February, or January, February, it was alright for a little while, and then things have just basically gone down, and doesn't seem to be recovering anytime soon. There's a new reason every day, usually something to do with number of jobs in America or the interest rates and that sort of stuff. And basically, it's getting pummeled. But it was just affecting has been just affecting for the last 2 months or so. It's only been affecting the YouTube-esque or retail investor stocks. Retail investors are normal people who aren't running around with billions of pounds. It's just our stocks that have been, done in. So there is a working theory, which I kind of think might be accurate, that basically after the whole GameStop thing, flooded a bunch of people into the market. Anyone can do stocks now. Yeah, I'll buy anything. I'll buy Lucid. Come on, it's going to the moon. Lots of people went into the market, and then basically the big guys thought, well, what we'll do is we'll short everything that the YouTubers like, and then short means to bet against it basically, and then we will push them to the point where they can't cope anymore, and then they will give up and sell, and it's probably not coincidental that it's tax week in America this week, so there's a good chance that a lot of people who now need to pay tax bills from last year's gains might have to sell their stocks at a loss in order to pay that bill. So yeah, that's what I think is probably partially happening, because the big hedge funds lost a lot of money at the beginning of the year. Weirdly, they've had a very good quarter. The hedge funds, they just reported their best quarter ever. Not best quarter ever, that's not true. But they've had the best one for a while. So yeah, not coincidental thing. But anyway, it's now starting to affect the entire market, because there's been, I don't know if you heard about this, but there was a fuel pipe in America. Don't know much about the information about it, but from what I understand, was it hacked or something, or it leaked or something like that? Something went wrong with it. So there's. Do you know more about it?
Not a great deal, but it popped up on survivalist forums about stock up, the pipes down.
Yeah.
This could be the end.
Yeah. So what I think happened is I think it was hacked or something. So basically, yeah, it's out of order. It's out of. It's not working. So today there's been there's been brawls and stuff at petrol stations as people trying to get petrol before it runs out. So you got that. You got the obviously we had the Suez Canal issue not so long ago. That caused supply problems. We've got the semiconductor issues going on. We've had the interest rates have gone. The jobs has not recovered as quickly as people thought. So basically, there's all these negative catalysts, and it's absolutely tanking everything. So, if you're an investor already, tough. Gotta squeeze your buttocks and carry on. But if you're thinking about going to the market, not financial advice, but now might be a good time. But interestingly, what seems to have happened now is the retail investors that were enjoying life in GameStop seem to have gone very much towards crypto. And their theory or thesis is that, unlike normal stocks, which can be shorted, it doesn't really happen in crypto. There's no, if you make lots of money on a stock, it usually means someone else has lost. That isn't the case in crypto. You just, you only lose if other people decide to sell it, but there's no necessarily anyone at the other end. So I don't think it's a coincidence. Bitcoin is currently, they're not at the highest, but they're, actually Bitcoin and has settled off a little bit, but we've got Ethereum is going through the roof.
Very well.
Good old Dogecoin has been doing very well. Obviously, they had a bit of a pullback after Elon Musk's SNL thing, which we can talk about if you want to. And also, I don't know if you've heard of Cardano.
I have. It's it's the version 3, effectively.
I think they're trying to be a bit more about putting things on the blockchain as opposed to just about the currency element of it. But they're all getting new highs. So it looks like everyone is basically going, right, well, the stock market's crap, so let's go over here. And they're all, so yeah, crypto is going a bit nuts. And I kind of get the impression that 2021 is going to be, I'm sure it's been said every year for the past 10 years, but I think it's going to be the year of the crypto. It's heating up. And yeah, you probably end up with, like, it might take till next year or whatever to whittle out all the tiny little ones that aren't going to make it. But the ones that do well this year, I think, might be the ones that stick around for a while. And that might include Dogecoin.
Wow. Optimistic, I think.
It might be, but I don't know, there seems to be quite a big movement on it. I think it might have elevated beyond meme.
Yeah. I mean, all following Mr. Doge father, who basically admitted on SNL it was just a gamble.
Yes, he did.
A flutter.
Well, no, it wasn't the word. It was a hustle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm starting to get the impression that there might, if you've already got Elon asking whether he should accept Dogecoin for Tesla, I think. You've got other companies talking about accepting, Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff. So it's picking up. There's more and more of that. I think Palantir was the latest one, the big software company in US, the big kind of, no one really understands what they do, but they do AI type stuff. They've recently talked about allowing Bitcoin as well. Anyway, I've probably gone about it too much, but if you're interested, go and look into that a bit more because it's heating up. Although, be careful.
This is a quick thing with the Palantir guys.
Yes.
A lot of people stay away from those because they were involved in building the wall between Mexico and the US, and sort of like
a software company. How do they get involved?
They were building the software that sort of regulated people in and out, and apparently a lot of bugs caused undue distress to children being separate from parents, etc. They've got a lot of negative press from it.
Well, I mean, I haven't read that. I don't know where that's come from, but the only thing I would say is that there seems to be a whole, with the whole FUD thing. Well, obviously Tesla's normally the king of getting FUD against because the number of articles are just twisted slightly just to make it. From what I understand, Palantir are suffering a similar issue. So, but which might be related to the fact that it's definitely a YouTube stock. So it might be that there are articles out there which are deliberately trying to badmouth them. I don't know, but it's a common thing and it has been going on for years with Tesla. And I think Palantir might be possibly going down the same road. So I would check your sources before you believe anything about these companies, aren't they? Anyway.
Oh, it's been there for a while. They'd also developed TS-Lint, so TypeScript linter, which was dropped by Angular in favor of ES-Lint, simply because of this, because Palantir started deprecating it because it was getting revolted.
Oh, sorry, it's getting revolted because of the news, and so they dropped it because of that.
Yeah, this has been ongoing for some time, a couple of years.
Okay. Fair enough. And then my final piece of news is to do with NASA and its Perseverance rover. Apparently, it's done enough science for the time being, and is now on a new mission to find alien life. And it's doing so by wandering round a frozen lake and smashing some rocks up. However, just to add to the fun, meanwhile, other scientists have been studying the room that Perseverance was built in to see what kind of bacterium has survived in there, and therefore what bacterium we may have just infected the rest of the solar system with. Because we like to do that. We like to have a brilliant idea and then accidentally introduce a new species and destroy everything. So we may have done the same thing. Apparently the rooms that the Perseverance was built in, or all kind of, not necessarily all, but a lot of the space, other planetary machineries built in, are built to a level 5 cleaning facility. So not a level 1, which is like the super clean, and not level 10. It's in the middle. But they're still pretty, basically they clean every single part before they put it on in a relatively sterilized environment, that sort of stuff. But some bacterium on Earth, because there's lots of it, can even survive through that in the smallest ways. So if they've survived that in the room, then chances are they're going to be strong enough to survive on the machine itself. And there was some bacterium found on the the space ISS, and how much it's evolved whilst being in space to the point where it's almost unrecognizable. So what might end up happening is that the rover might find some bacterium and go, found some, and then it turns out we put it there.
Right.
But presumably that's what they're doing this for, so they can try to work out what pathways of what types of bacteria may have ended up there, so that we don't go, we found life, when actually we just found some poo that we brought. And that is all of my news.
Is it though?
Is it though? Oh no, it isn't though. Because I added one more, but I brought it up because I think it would be more relevant for you to talk about. I added one more, but
this one.
Yeah, that one. So basically, just that I thought we might have a real conversation about. So Cardiff believes it needs 9,900 more charging points, and I think it was something like 40,000 charging points by 2030. Don't quite know why it needs quite that many, but so yeah, there's lots of stuff in there about how we need to be careful because the technologies that we're using now may not be the technologies we're going to be using in the future. They're trying to find the right balance, blah blah blah. They also think it's a bit of a problem if people start charging their cars at home because we don't have the infrastructure to support the electric grid. So yeah, you're Welsh. What do you think?
Sounds good. I mean, right now there isn't much infrastructure in Wales at all, so this would be very welcome. Right now,
But do you think you need 10,000 chargers?
I would have thought 40,000 in the entirety of Wales, not just Cardiff.
Yeah, but they reckon they need 20,000 in the next. Sorry, what did I say? 10,000. 10,000. In the next 4 years. But I don't think. Why would you need 10,000? Because I think they're talking about public chargers. I don't think they're just talking about ones in people's houses. Maybe they are, in which case that makes sense. What's the population of Cardiff? I have no idea, but I might just give that quickly. Population of Cardiff.
Not much. I reckon 235.
Oh, wrong number at the beginning. 335.
Ah.
It's very good, very good guess. Yeah, so 300. That was, although that was apparently 10 years ago, because it says 211 underneath. So 400,000, brother. Yeah, so 400,000 people, 10,000 charge. But I don't know. If you've got a charging point in your house, yeah. So I don't know if you really need that many public chargers. You only need a handful, really. Not a handful. That's a bit extreme, but
apparently it only has 100 at the moment. So this is a significant increase.
oh yeah. Orders of magnitude. 100.
I mean, I can only assume right now there's not even 10,000 electric cars in Wales,
No,
let
probably not.
alone in Cardiff.
Probably not, no. But there is a little thing there. College launches course for electric car mechanics. Well, good. Good. But yes, so people seem to be getting themselves in a bit of a fit about how many chargers. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're right. I don't know. As in, I live in a world where I use my home charger, and then there's like 3 maybe that I use, not locally obviously. Why would I need a charger locally? There's 3 other chargers that I use regularly, depending on whether I'm going north, east, or west, basically. I don't know why we would need 10,000 in a city. I would have thought 50 would be enough. But
I don't know. Maybe it's an ambition to be one of the first, really.
Well, yeah, but they seem to be saying that they're going to wait. They're going to wait until the technology matures before they do anything.
Well, they're going to build all 9,924.
I don't know.
I mean, they got 100 now.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I'm not sure. Cardiff's not really that big. It's got what, as you said, 300,000 people. It's not a lot of people. I mean, that is 10% of Wales, but that's still not a lot.
Yeah, there was I can't remember what it was now, but there was a percentage. I have to look it up for next time. A percentage that Tesla have got of saturation, depending on cars. It was a percentage. I presume if we just follow that model, that's working. So anyway, that is me done. What have you got?
Fair enough. I got a few pieces. So first of all, have you heard the latest on this?
Of course.
I thought you might have. So, what are you currently thinking? Because this is what we discussed last week about there being a driver behind the wheel.
Yes.
But maybe a third party who ran away or something. I mean, this article doesn't say anything. Again, we still don't know. But apparently there was footage showing the owner getting in the driver's door. And somehow he ended up in the back. And one thing I didn't realize is that, where was it? Yeah, it didn't actually go that far.
No, it's literally on the same road.
168 meters into the crash. That surely is not enough time to go, oh, watch this, and get in the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first idea that people had. I think that they crashed. He did do something silly, and then it caught fire or whatever. He couldn't get out, and then tried to get through the back. Maybe that does work. Yeah, I'm not sure how we're ever going to find out, but it was. I mean, it's got to get. I think it got lost in all the news really. But basically, the most important thing for Tesla and their investors is that it wasn't auto driving. It wasn't running on the car.
No. It's a shame apparently the data was destroyed or can't be easily recovered. But who knows? Interesting. Anyway, moving to another Tesla bear news. So, seeing this one?
Yes. Well, I don't know. Oh, he's arrested, is he? I knew they were looking for him.
I mean, how could they not find him?
I mean, he was videoed in the back. Yeah, I'll let you do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know all this stuff. I assumed you'd be keeping a track of all Tesla news. But yeah, some 25-year-old sitting in the back, driving about, and yeah, got reported, and has now got arrested. First arrest, but yeah, dangerously relying on autopilot.
Yeah, if you look at a picture there, look, he's very happy about it. He's like, look what my car can do.
So I thought there was a pressure on the seat where if you're not sitting there, it disactivates of some sort. Or
yeah.
warns you at least.
I think the weight sensor is only in the latest version, possibly. Check that one, but So no, I think depending on what year the car is, it may just be the one where it just needs to be the seatbelt buckled, so you can just buckle it and get in the back.
I mean, he does sound a bit of a yeah.
Came out of the pandemic and self-driving car. You blue-collar peasants can't understand my life. Okay. Whatever your life problems, and don't think that gives you an excuse to sit in the back of the car, which is the car's not supposed to drive itself.
Yeah. Due in court, 6th of July. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is the first of the kind, I think. Or has this happened before?
Unfortunately, if you put idiots behind, give idiots a very clever piece of tech, they will abuse it and do stupid things with it.
Seemingly so.
But that's true of any technology.
Anyway, let's leave Tesla alone. Another piece of news I thought you might like is this.
Oh, I've not heard this one.
Do you know this guy?
Gordon Murray. No. Is there any relation to Murray Walker? That makes no sense. No, I don't know who he is.
So he's founded a new company, basically, who's raised 300 million.
Okay,
and
it's not enough.
Yeah. I like how he's gone for GME.
Oh yeah, very good.
Right in that train. But yeah, I mean, what's the fascination about having the lightest EV? It's surely lighter, faster, more efficient. But is that such a big deal in an electric vehicle?
Well, weight is obviously a huge deal because it has a multiplier effect on the range. But we've already got the likes of Aptera for things like that, which is super light and super aerodynamic. So Aptera have got 2 of those covered. I'm not sure what the point of going for just one of them is. But okay, sure.
Yeah.
What's he going to make it out
of? It doesn't actually say. This is very early on. He's raised some money. I assume it'd be carbon fiber of some sort. Something super light.
300 million isn't going to be very much. I mean, it actually isn't going to be. I mean, like it sounds a lot, but it isn't going to be anywhere near enough. 5 years. I mean, that's only 60 million a year. He's not going to do anything with that.
I don't know. How much does an F1 car cost to make?
I don't know, but I can Google it. How much does an F1 car cost? Google says 12 million.
Pennies.
Yeah, 12 million. I'm sure.
Yeah, let's see what he can do with it, I suppose. But yeah, other news.
What was that about a 12-litre guzzling? What was that? In the meantime, he is still set on launching the bold T50 supercar featuring a gas guzzling V12. Okay, so he's not doing this for any sustainability reasons. He's not driven by that. He's just driven by having a GME name and making a headline.
Yes.
I don't want to discount him too early, mate, but it sounds like this is my new skepticism thing. I'm reading that and I'm thinking, nah.
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
Oh, I thought you might have recognised him, being a massive F1 fan yourself.
I am, exactly.
No idea who he is.
I am a big F1 fan, and I still don't know who he is.
I mean, he doesn't actually say which ones he did invent. He's just an F1 car designer. Okay, which one?
F1 car designer.
Yeah.
Or is he an F1, or did he? According to this, he might have designed the McLaren F1.
Oh, really? Is that what you just looked up?
Yeah, he's a British designer of Formula 1 racing cars and the McLaren F1 road car. So yes, he designed that. Admittedly, that car did break some records and stuff.
Ah, nice. Maybe he's a cool guy. Maybe we'll find out what happens.
Maybe. South
In the meantime,
South African British, by the looks of it.
Cool.
Yeah, the last time he worked was with McLaren in 1991.
Oh, he's been on the bench for some time.
But before that, he worked for Brabham, which most people won't even remember now. So
Never heard of them.
don't know what he's been doing since. But anyway, Neo.
So Neo, remember those guys?
I do, yeah.
So they were a hype in the investment market some time back.
Yeah, currently pummeled like everybody else.
Yeah. So they're coming to Europe, and they're bringing battery swap stations with them.
Yeah.
For some reason, nobody cares. So, so yeah, you've got Neo, Chinese manufacturer,
Yeah.
sort of a Tesla ripoff, arguably. But
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, they're bringing battery swap technology, which is quite cool. So apparently they have 2 million battery swaps in China, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so apparently most comments characterise the move as redundant. What, we don't need them?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really understand why there's such a backlash. I mean, it sounds anything's a good thing. We don't seem to have that yet.
Here we go. If you scroll down, we've got Snowtime saying this will solve a problem that doesn't exist. Price of batteries before an EV range will further increase by 2022. I mean, so the thing is with a battery swap technology, like, I think generally I agree with other people's views that it's a little bit silly to have, given that batteries are so hard to come by and so expensive, like the most expensive part of the car, it doesn't make sense to have a machine that keeps 5 of them stored all day long, if not 20 of them stored all day long, when actually we just need them out there. But at the same time, what it does do, which I think is quite good at this current moment in time where technology is still progressing quite quickly, because it's quite early, having the ability to take an old style battery out and replace it with a better battery in a year from now, 2 years from now, because the technology's improved, that does actually, to me, it's a short window, sure, but that could actually be quite cool.
I mean, it does sound interesting, and they're going to launch in Norway, so we'll see what happens over there. But what I did find interesting is this, where they can replace it in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how expensive this is, but that's a case of, I don't want to charge. I'll just go change my battery to a fully charged one.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, because you will literally get, go from 300 miles to another 300 miles in 3 minutes, which is, arguably faster than petrol.
Yeah. Well, assuming it's also very affordable, I can't see why that's not a really cool thing to have.
Yeah, I don't know, but obviously it's a narrow window a narrow need for people that need to drive 600 miles with only a 3-minute stop. Most people need to go to the bathroom or have food.
Yeah, I suppose as soon as the charging capabilities catch up and they're everywhere, then yeah, this is redundant.
And obviously, as that person said, if the batteries get to 400, 500 miles, do I need to swap the battery now, or actually have I got enough? Because at some point you're going to get to enough battery where you go, short of, well, I'm not going to drive to the other side of the country every day. So on the day that I do decide to go on a road trip, I'm happy to wait a few hours before I can drive again.
Yeah. So I don't know. Been to maybe for a couple of years, but let's see how Norway fares and how it all works.
Yeah.
Cool. Next thing is a charging type that's been banned in France.
Oh, of course, it's been banned in France.
Oof. CHAdeMO.
That's it. Okay, that's why I use.
But why do you use it? Is it
Screw you,
because
France. Didn't want to come anyway. Why do I use it? Because it's the Nissan Leaf's default one.
Right. So why is France going about getting rid of it then?
I think it's probably sensible because CCS is far more widely adapted. I
Yeah,
think
that's what they're going towards.
yeah, even Tesla's had to been forced to make a CCS adapter for theirs, so it does make sense. You don't want to have you don't really want you want to have one standard plug. So I actually don't mind that.
So what is CCS? Is common something standard, common standard,
Oh, I have no idea what it stands for, mate. Common charging
Co-
setup.
common charging standard, some sort. I reckon. Yeah, well, it can't be standard, but
Um, is it an acronym or an abbreviation? I forget.
abbreviation. No, acronym.
Um, Charging. What is it? What is it now for? The combined charging system.
Ah, cool. Okay. So it's just a standard. It's a USB-C,
Yeah, sure. Why
and
not?
Nissan has gone on board as well. So their new electric SUV, the Aria, um, is going to have the CCS connection, and they will also drop CHAdeMO. So
Um,
that seems to be the end.
yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, it's annoying for me, but because it probably means that if everyone does this, then ultimately my car will be worth less. But
But can't you get like a CHAdeMO to CCS adapter? Stick in the end of yours?
I have absolutely no idea.
Like, you could sell get a micro USB that goes into a USB-C socket, that type of thing. Little
Um,
adapter.
you might be able to, yeah.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. There's it's coming out with some stuff when I typed it in, so sure, why not?
Hmm. But if not, you can always move to Japan because CHAdeMO seems to be quite supported over there.
Oh.
Hmm. Next, what do you think about this? So we've discussed it a couple of times, but now it's coming. So
I
you've had your vaccine.
I've had number one, yes.
I'm having mine on Sunday.
Hope you're not working on Monday.
Well, I've double checked, and I'm going to get the Pfizer, not the
Oh,
AstraZeneca.
you'll be fine then. I got the cheap one.
Well, I did double check with stuff, and apparently it's only 40 plus get it. You've you've unfortunately caught the grasp.
Oh, so only 40 plus get the cheap one.
Yes, the one that could potentially give you blood clots in 30 years, because they assume by the time you're in your 70s, you're probably knackered anyway.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah, great. And I didn't even get to celebrate my birthday before I became in the age category where I'm worthless to society.
Well, I actually took a friend down yesterday to have his vaccination. He got like a pack of biscuits and a bottle of water and everything. Did you get them?
No, I got treated like a sheep. I got sent in. They asked me some questions. They stabbed me and they kicked me out the door and told me I wasn't allowed to drive my car.
Oh, really?
I did anyway, but only for like 30 seconds because basically I was just around the corner. So I was like, right, okay, I will drive for 30 seconds and then park somewhere that I can stop. I'm not going to sit here in a car park which is full when it's raining. No. Just going to go somewhere comfortable. So I did. I broke the rules. But I figured it was in case I, started feeling queasy. So I figured I better go somewhere where someone's actually paying attention to me, as opposed to just sitting in a car park.
Yeah. Interesting.
Safety first.
But did you get a little paper passport, effectively, to say, or a little vaccination book to say you've been vaccinated, you've had your first dose?
Don't think so.
Was you
I think I
did you
got a
not get
business
any?
card or something.
Yeah, you should have got some sort of validation that you've had this.
If I did, I haven't got any more. I probably threw it away.
Okay. Well, this week, this is coming. So sign up and let me know how it works. 'Cause, I mean, ultimately, it's a little bit weird that you need to prove your vaccine certification if you want to leave the country or do something
Yeah.
different.
So what's it for? What do you need What do you need this for? What
Um,
would this thing give me? What doors
non-essential
would it unlock?
travel.
Right.
You can
What?
get a paper version, or but apparently the NHS app as well is also terrible. Apparently,
One second. No, look.
so
Hold on. That just says that it will be released on the same day that it's non-central travel. But what is it? It's going to be necessary for people to be able to travel where? What, as in anywhere, or just presumably I mean in a plane.
to leave the country, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So is that all it's for?
Effectively, yes. So it was told us before that's going to be temporary for a few months, but I don't know. I kind of feel it's one of those things we're going to have now. This is going to be a thing that follows us, and you just get vaccinated for different things. Like you get vaccinated for COVID 2021 next year, that type of thing.
Like a new badge in your book. Level up. Oh, I leveled up to level 2 of COVID. Yes. Now I can go to cinemas. Woo!
Yeah, that type of stuff.
No
So,
thanks.
be interested to see how this works. But if you get a chance to get the app, which is on the 17th of May, next Monday, give it a crack. Let me know how it works. Report back next Wednesday.
Do I have to?
Well,
I
just
do
just just to make sure it communicates with the RFID chip in your arm.
it. I have noticed the my ring doorbell keeps making a weird sound every time I walk past it. Um, I'll do it for the good of the people who are watching this, but for no other reason because I don't want to damn them.
I'm just interested, and it's only an English thing. It's not coming to Wales and Scotland because
Well, lucky you.
we don't want it.
No, I might move to Wales then.
We'll take the biscuits and the water instead.
I'm guessing the throughput in Wales must be a lot slower then.
How do you mean?
Well, as in if you're sitting down and having biscuits and watching an episode of EastEnders or something, um, and I'm getting kicked out the door, then I'm guessing they get a lot more of us done.
Oh no. Well, I'll have you know that Wales is the second best vaccinated country in the entire world.
And they give biscuits. How is that even possible? Or are they giving you biscuits and then they give you a COVID jab and then they immediately send you into a very small space with about 300 other people and tell you to eat your biscuits in there and share them.
Yeah, all facing the wall.
What's that? Oh, it hasn't taken effect yet. Oh, damn it!
No, I mean it seemed quite humane, if anything.
But yeah, you sound like
Not
you're being treated like people.
not quite the battery hens that you guys in England are.
We should have done that. Just come around and go. Oh dear.
Yeah, so I have mine on Sunday. I see how that goes too. I'm looking forward to my biscuits. Anyway, coming up is, did you hear about Peloton's data breach?
I heard about their injuries to children. I haven't heard about data breach as well.
Ooh, injuries to children. I haven't heard that one.
Oh, how have you not heard that one?
Well, Peloton is the only thing I noticed that was green in my current list of companies. That's going to change now.
Okay, yeah, well, probably.
Yeah, so what's the injuries to children thing?
Basically, their has it got a picture of their running machine on there anyway?
Um, no.
No. Okay.
We
Well,
can pull one
basically,
up.
basically the running machine, the Peloton running machine has excellent. What is that? A machine?
Yeah.
Treadmill. Treadmill. Type in treadmill. That's the word you want. Sorry, I said running machine. That was my fault.
Oh, the treadmill,
The
as in this
treadmill.
guy.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. All right. So the treadmill. If you look at the where the feet go, the little spinny thing. If you can get a picture which doesn't have all the extra marketing. Oh, goodness me!
Come on.
Give us the picture of the thing. You can't
Okay,
get it.
let's go back to the thumbnail.
You can't
There
get it.
we
Okay,
go.
right. So basically,
Zoom in.
Oh, stop moving. Okay, okay.
That's what.
So
That's all gone wrong.
stay still. Just stay still. Right. So basically, the gap underneath there is quite high, basically, and some children have got, I think, caught underneath it or something.
What?
Yeah, I think one child actually even died.
What?
So I should probably check that.
Bloody hell.
Let me just check whether that's actually true. Peloton
Well, like,
kid
got
dies.
sucked under it.
Yeah, child killed in tragic treadmill accident.
Wow, that's horrendous.
So a 3-year-old suffered head injuries after getting trapped under the treadmill.
A 3-year-old as well.
Yeah.
It's not a small baby. That's that's a fair, decent toddler.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That something like that would even get released.
Ugh. Anyway, so, well, I mean, you've got to. I don't know. I don't want to judge because I don't know I don't know what happened. But I mean, generally speaking, I don't understand how the treadmill is running when there's a 3-year-old around and there's no parent or no adult nearby. I don't even know how that's even happens. To the point where you can, what are you doing? You're letting the kid run it on its own? I mean, what are you doing? I don't know. But anyway, what happened was, some child got caught underneath it and then had a head injury and died by the sounds of it. So, and it's just because of that. It's just because it's slightly high at the back. So I think they didn't do a recall on it when they were first suggested. Maybe they should. And then I think another child was injured, not killed, because I think that the death happened was 2 months ago. So so now they've had to recall all of the treadmills, basically to put on I think a new article was released the other day saying essentially a £3 piece of plastic that's been added to the bottom would have saved them millions of pounds of lawsuits and stuff. So yeah, that was what happened to them recently.
No, I hadn't heard that, and yeah, I'm surprised that got through testing. To be honest, that seemed, if it's that high, a very obvious problem. I mean, not even kids. I would have thought animals. Like you'd be dragging the pet underneath, like.
Yeah, but press the stop button. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have. Of course, you should design it so it doesn't hurt anyone, but at the same time.
Yeah, but I don't know. Whoever was running on it, maybe they were completely absorbed. They got the headphones in. They're watching the display. I mean, they just thought maybe there was a steep incline. How do I know?
Yeah, it's a fair point. It does actually encourage you to not engage with the outside world when you're on Peloton. So.
Yeah, I mean, then a couple of bumps, and then it's too late, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and on top of that, they've also had their user data leaked, including all your workout stats, gender, age. Pretty much, it's not directly identifiable information to a user. However, there's a lot of stuff that did get out. Yeah, and the main problem that's quite bad is it happened in January, but they didn't disclose it until a few weeks later.
That looks like 2 weeks later to me.
A couple of weeks, yeah. So there was a reason why they did it.
That's when they asked for an update and they didn't get one.
Yeah.
And then after 90 days. Yeah, so they're not doing very well with the whole being honest about things.
Doesn't seem to be, no.
Yeah. So it seemed like they did something similar with this treadmill incident.
Yeah. So far, not really liking Peloton. I hope they can up their game a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Have you seen this? The Infinite Plastic Recycling Plant.
I saw the headline but didn't read it.
So yeah, it's the whole idea of effectively plastic is a good source and a good way to trap carbon. So when you make plastic, obviously the carbon gets stuck in the plastic itself. As long as you don't burn that plastic or destroy it in any way, that carbon is effectively trapped forever.
Mm.
So as long as it's reshaped and then repurposed, effectively that plastic can keep on trapping that carbon forever and just keep on being reused.
Mm.
And that's the entire point here of this infinite plastic recycling. I think they use, where is it, chemical. They use basically, yeah, chemical recycling. So effectively, they can take colors out, they can bring it back down to raw, and then you can re-dye, redo things that would make it more compatible. The problem of plastics previously were, let's say you had that with a yellow bottle, that gets recycled, it can only really be something else that's yellow. So that kind of limits it in a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah, so plastic energy, France, Netherlands, and UK. This, I assume, will become more of a thing where plastic itself will no longer be the bad guy. It could actually be seen as quite good and encouraging as trapping the carbon and then being used and not wasted, mainly.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
Hmm.
I mean, if it was used to, I don't know. I mean, like building materials and stuff. No, I mean, like we've got a I think it's good. It's certainly advertised to be good. We got like decking in the back garden,
Hmm.
which is a wood plastic composite. So obviously less wood used to make it, plastic used to make it. Doesn't rot, lasts a lot longer. That sort of stuff.
Hmm.
Issues probably going to be when you have to recycle it, but yes, in theory, if you start building more things like that and you have a way of recycling it afterwards, then great. Same concept as what we're doing with batteries at the moment. Knock them all out and then extract 90% of it at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're building one of these plants in Teesside at the moment. Um, they're building the other ones in France and Netherlands. Yeah, so true circular recycling is the aim. So a bottle today will be, I don't know, a soap dispenser tomorrow, whatever the hell we want to use it for, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think plastic gets a lot of bad rap, and I think if it is seen as just basically it's a carbon trap that we can shape into something usable, okay, that sounds pretty good.
And actually, if we get to a point where we can recycle any plastic, including the plastic that's already out there, there will be a
Mm,
small amount of um, business and people just going out and finding it as a raw material
mm.
and getting paid for it. I mean, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
But yeah, pretty cool actually. In a world where we no longer make plastic, we just literally keep reusing what we have,
Yeah, because it would be cheaper.
much cheaper. And my final story. So I haven't fully read this. I just found it interesting. Now we are learning more things about Mars, but the idea of it having volcanism is the idea that it's in still some way quite alive.
Cool.
Yeah, so we did think it was dead.
We don't
Um,
know anything, do we? We thought it was a dry
so,
planet. Oh no, turns out loads of ice on it. We thought it had
yeah,
no volcanic activity. Oh, whoops, there's a volcano. Sorry.
but I mean, yeah, where there's water and where there's volcanoes, effectively they could be life. Like we have life on Earth, which lives, near volcano sprouts. Could be
And, the,
very much the same here.
and water is the one thing that everything needs. So if there's water there, I wouldn't be surprised if you found life there too, albeit microbial.
Mm.
Oh look, we've got Mars quakes now. Haven't we? Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Earthquakes. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Never thought of that. Never.
Well, I never thought of the branding of actually called Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never thought of it. No. I was always
So,
thinking of it in terms of Earth as in what we call the ground, as opposed to the planet.
does that mean if you dig a hole on Mars, you're digging up Mars? As in, you're digging
Yeah, I guess it
mounds of
does.
Mars?
I guess it does. What's this in your
That's
hand? Is that sand? No, it's Mars.
yeah. Can you bring me a couple of bags of Mars just to plant some flowers? No, I've never thought that either, actually.
We'll call it Martian soil, won't we? And then one day
Well, I mean,
we'll call our own stuff Earthian soil. Earthian?
yeah. I suppose soil quakes don't have the same idea, though.
No. Well, yeah, but soil is only the top layer, so it can't be soil quakes. Don't know, I'm being pedantic about this.
Yeah,
But
so I just wanted
it's a lovely crack you've got there for us. Well done.
it's beautiful, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly read that, discuss it. Either way, Mars is looking good. That's all I have.
Well, we somehow managed to talk about the news, given I didn't think there was much going on this week, for nearly an hour. So, what we might need to do is let people tune off, since we made people watch half an hour of news and then at least taught them something, and now we've just given them a whole hour of news. So, on that note, it's time for bed. And so remember to think, educate, and act, and we will see you, all going well, next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.